This is the voice of the slime they. This is the voice of the slime they. Have a revolution, a new era with the wet, dark, subterranean sun. Body overflows with the molten creatures and waiting to be reborn. Your slime that slowly washes up with the black and wet. Reek the guts of the iceberg, spirits of the old animals dazzling in the nuclear night. Looking for some peace of mind. Planes stretch out endlessly, white under the burning sun. Expansive landscape of the dazzling plastic bathing in the green tinted in twilight with the nuclear winter of the black Arctic ice we hunt for the algae. Gray doubles of the first people with the chew and the biter, grinning plant with the bleached fragile coral reef with the buried under the waves of the sand offers our soft bodies for the protection of the dead reef. Still pours. I observe the minuscule poison for the green crystals, the toxic radiation for the surviving plants are black and sticky like oil. They grin. The hegemony with the sun's capitalism, the economy with its photosynthesis, but they're coming to the end for the slippery and bacteria for the deep black ice still bears substance. Voice, whisper, revolution, new era, wet, dark, subterranean sun. My body flows with the molten creatures waiting for the sun. Be reborn. They're so slowly washing over me. But what does that really mean then? Supply chain. The empties into me and I don't stop. You can take me out of the check zone. You can take the out of the check zone, out of the floor stakes for the instance inside the box to bring everything that touches the public full don't need. And it ain't anymore than already a worldwide. I exploit myself. I see the shadow of a dream of a world. Behind the zone where I can retreat after scanning the barcode of the fingerprint shot floor. Without an end for the protein, mass for the seminal fluid, for the shot floor is sweating outside, that sun is shining. Unravel garment until I can't go on. No capitalism inside then. When I leave the space, I won't stop retaliating of the objects that I swallow that I could not touch myself, and the body becomes the poem for the capital. I'm stuck with the cleanse clouds. Polyester expand for the intimacy of out of the caress. Flow back later for the binge and backward maintenance. This is more for the gas. All that began in the supply chain. Of course, you would be revoked. Everybody waking up buried alive, everybody get fast. Friday ladies and the informers of the economy give shadow as only territory for the scavengers. Those supply. No chain manager knows that supply chain is a chain filled with gray lines for labor addicts. Gray currency extracted from supplies. That chain manager knows that you can't sell customs without customs, nor without money. Revolution, a new era with the wet, dark, subterranean sun. Body overflows with the molten creatures and waiting to be reborn. Your slime that slowly washes up with the black and wet. Reek the guts of the iceberg, spirits of the old animals dazzling in the nuclear night. Looking for some peace of mind. Planes stretch out endlessly, white under the burning sun. Expansive landscape of the dazzling plastic bathing in the green tinted in twilight with the nuclear winter of the black Arctic ice we hunt for the algae. Gray doubles of the first people with the chew and the biter, grinning plant with the bleached fragile coral reef with the buried under the waves of the sand offers our soft bodies for the protection of the dead reef. Still pours. I observe the minuscule poison for the green crystals, the toxic radiation for the surviving plants are black and sticky like oil. They grin. Hegemony with the sun's capitalism, the economy with its photosynthesis, but they're coming to the end of the slippery and bacteria for the deep black ice still bears substance. Voice, whisper, revolution, new era, wet, dark, subterranean sun. My body flows with golden creatures waiting for the concrete. They're so slowly washing over me. What does that really mean then? Sense find the body in the supply chain. Empties into me and I don't stop. Let it drain out of me. You can take me out of the check zone. You can take me out of the check zone, out of the floor
soft, lingering the way that I tried to project the intimate zone for the following from the lines, for the checking out, for the credit card filing of the filament and the winds and the way to the intimate and the skin, and I feel the things of the supply. Manager under the layers of the text. Supply for the chain managers to find you. Self for the supply drain and flooded for the floor, then temporarily proceeded and going hunting for the neon. Dreading falling pieces of the fast fashion. Shot for a drag for the self for the center. White line. The hot trap. Not a solid. She look like broken. Must be a word. Profile. Verb that I can call a poem. Should be called human or unconscious or simply humanity. Unconscious does not mean no unconsciousness and believing in the endless desires the right to seem to separate human. Artificial, considering having the tools of evidence. Should be careful with future technology assessment of your evolution should be into account. New games. Machine or symbiosis that is survived. The new era. The human operators that are black increasingly. You're not listening to boxes in the forms of the consciousness. Listen to music of poetic emphasis in the place of the cosmic predictive tools like you yourself in intelligence, statistical, developing, there's no escape. I miss you. No departure. This is today. Rapping in the blankets and laying to the best of the cradle.
This is the voice of the slime lady.
This is the voice of the slime lady.
This is the voice of the slime lady. This is the voice of the revolution. This is the voice of the slime lady. Have a revolution, a new era with the wet dark subterranean sun. Body overflows with the molten creatures waiting to be reborn. The slime that slowly washes up with the black and wet. Reap the guts of the iceberg, spirits of the old animals dazzling in the nuclear night. Looking for sun, peace of mind. Flames stretch out endlessly, white under the burning sun. Expansive landscape of the dazzling plastic, bathing in the green tinted in twilight with the nuclear winter of the black Arctic ice. We hunt for the algae. Gray doubles of the first people for the chew and the biter. Grinning plant with the bleached fragile coral reef with the buried under the waves of the sand offers our soft bodies for the protection of the dead reef. Still pores, absorbing the minuscule poison for the green crystal, the toxic radiation for the surviving plants, black and sticky like oil. They grin. The hegemony with the sun's capitalism, the economy when it's photosynthesis, but they're coming to the end for the slippery bacteria for the deep black ice still there's substance. Voice, whisper, revolution, new era, wet, dark, subterranean sun. My body flows with the molten creatures waiting for the concrete to be reborn. This still slowly washing over me. But what does that really mean then? You can face your contractions. As long as you make sense, find the body at the end of the supply chain. You'll empties into me and I non-stop let it drain out of me. You can take me out of the check zone. You can take the out of the check zone, out of me, the floor sticks with instances inside of absorbing everything that touches and pumps and full, don't deem. And it ain't any more than already a worldwide. I exploit myself faster than the shadow of a dream of a world. Beyond the zone where I can retreat after scanning a barcode of fingerprint shot floor without an end for the protein mass for the seminal fluid for the shot floor is wet and outside that sun is shining. Unravel garment until I can't go on. No capitalism inside then when I leave the space I won't stop retaliating the objects that I swallow that I could not touch myself and the body becomes the poem of the capital I'm stuck within the cleansing clouds. Polyester expand for the intimacy seeping out of the caress. Flow back later for the binge and backward linkage. This is more for the gander. For all that began through the supply chain. Of course you can be revoked. Every morning waking up buried alive under the money and fast fluorescent power for the brightly lit basement is an informer for the economy. Give shadow was only territory for the scavengers. Your supply. Your chain manager knows that supply chain is a machine filled with a gray mass for labor added. The gray currency extracted and supplies. That chain manager knows that you can't spell customs without customs, nor without money.